Welcome back. Well, let's go back now to the impact of Brexit on the UK shellfish sector. We heard a little earlier from Rick Stein and his fears for an industry he loves. Well, the EU has banned sales of live shellfish from the UK and stories abound of businesses in complete crisis. Well, I'm joined now by Ben King. He's the chief executive of Pesky, which is a platform that helps the industry sell more in the UK. Ben, welcome to you. I mean, this was something Rick mentioned to us, that he is trying to get people to consume more at home. Is there much evidence of that you're seeing right now?
Absolutely. I think I think it's fair to say that the fishing industry collectively is probably the hardest time ever to be a fisherman or aquaculture producer, and a lot of that is driven by the fact that there isn't incredible access to be able to get to those points at the end of the chain, such as home consumers. But one of the silver linings to what is a very dark cloud for the industry currently is seeing these brilliant exercises of home consumers being able to buy directly from the boats. And we've seen it ever since we launched the side channel back in April of last year, where any consumer can come on at 8 o'clock in the evening and buy from the boats from their landings that day. And the interest and the demand for that has absolutely exploded. And I think it's driven by two things, Ian. I think it's not only are our customers now getting an experience of seafood that's almost recalibrating their expectations of quality, but the opportunity for those people in their homes to actively contribute to supporting the producers and supporting the suppliers in a very direct and tangible way, I think is very infectious. And so, yeah, it's not the solution to the industry's problems right now, but it is certainly a sign of good things to come.
What about the supermarkets? Are they buying more?
In terms of British species, I think you have to look at how the supply chain is built to support supermarkets, and in the UK we import 80% of the fish we eat, whether that be shellfish or wet fish, and we export 80% of the fish that we catch. So it's a bit of an oil tanker trying to change that dynamic and rolling that out into such a large infrastructure such as supermarkets. So I think there are evidence of small pockets of great work, but really what I'd say is that the greatest innovations are happening outside in some respects in supermarkets. It's being driven by the middle of the industry, with fantastic businesses being set up, whether it be by fishermen or merchants or in our case our marketplace. But actively being promoted by the fantastic chefs who've got platforms who can raise the awareness to all of the people who buy fish for their homes. So yeah, I think it's not quite got to the structural level of the supermarkets yet, but hopefully this is the spark that will get the change that we need.
Briefly, if you would please, Ben, do you think people will carry on buying shellfish via courier once the restaurants are allowed to reopen?
Absolutely. I think once you've tasted a fish, when it's only been out of the water for 36 hours, as I said earlier, it fundamentally recalibrates your expectation of what good quality is. When a fish only smells of the sea, and that is the byproduct of that short time span, you're not going to want to go back to a lesser experience, especially when you know that by buying you're actively helping the people who are risking their lives to go out and catch the fish for you. So this trend is not going anywhere.
Good to talk to you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Ian.
One last story to bring you before we go, which is that the